For 74 days, this case did not exist. There were no arrests, no charges, no public warnings. On February 23, 2020, Ahmaud Arbery left his home in Glynn County, Georgia, and went for a jog. He was 25 years old, unarmed, and familiar with the neighborhood streets he ran almost daily. Within minutes, that routine run would end in a fatal confrontation that would shake a nation. The Satilla Shores neighborhood was largely residential, with modest homes lining quiet streets. A construction site had recently drawn attention due to a few reported thefts. On that morning, Gregory McMichael, a retired law enforcement officer and former investigator for the Brunswick District Attorney's Office, the same office that would initially protect him from arrest, noticed Ahmaud moving through the area. His son Travis McMichael was with him. Acting on suspicion alone, they decided to pursue him. Their neighbor, William Roddy Bryan, joined the chase in his own vehicle. Ahmaud ran past the homes, past familiar corners, unaware that the vehicles following him were not merely curious, but intent on confrontation. The McMichaels blocked his path with their truck. Travis exited with a shotgun. The chase escalated into a lethal encounter. 3 shots were fired at close range. Witnesses later reported that Gregory McMichael shouted a racial slur immediately after the shooting. Ahmaud fell. His life, ordinary and vibrant, ended on the street he had run so many times before. For 74 days, the local authorities remained silent. District Attorney Jackie Johnson initially recused herself because of her personal ties to Gregory McMichael. He had worked in her office for years. But before stepping aside, she allegedly instructed Glynn County police not to arrest the McMichaels. She would later be indicted for obstruction of justice. The case was then passed to District Attorney George Barnhill of the Waycross Judicial Circuit. Barnhill had his own conflict of interest. His son worked in Jackie Johnson's office alongside Gregory McMichael. Despite this, Barnhill didn't immediately recuse himself. Instead, he wrote a letter arguing that the shooting was justified under Georgia's citizens arrest law and that no charges should be filed. It wasn't until April 7, 2020, more than 6 weeks after the killing, that Barnhill finally recused himself after Ahmaud's family discovered the conflict. During those 74 days, Ahmaud's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, refused to let the case be buried. She wrote letters, contacted officials, hired attorney Lee Merritt, and kept relentless pressure on authorities while her son's killers walked free. She would not let them forget her son. But still, no arrests were made. The McMichaels claimed they pursued Ahmaud because they believed he was responsible for thefts in the area. They said they had seen him at the construction site and assumed he was a burglar. But the surveillance footage from that construction site told a different story. The cameras revealed multiple people entering the open, unfenced property over several months. White joggers, white couples walking their dogs, children playing. Ahmaud Arbery appeared on the footage as well, several times in fact. He would walk through, look around briefly, and leave, taking nothing, damaging nothing. Entering an open, unfenced construction site is not a crime in Georgia. It is only considered trespassing if the property is enclosed, posted with "no trespassing" signs, or if the person refuses to leave when asked. None of those conditions applied here, yet only one person was hunted for it. On May 5, 2020, 74 days after Ahmaud's death, a video emerged. Incredibly, it was released by William Bryan's attorney, who believed the footage would exonerate his client by showing that Bryan hadn't fired the shots. The attorney miscalculated catastrophically. The video did the opposite. It revealed the pursuit in horrifying detail. The footage was leaked to a local radio station, and within hours, it spread across the nation. The video showed Ahmaud jogging. It showed the McMichaels' truck pursuing him, blocking his path. It showed Travis McMichael standing in the road with a shotgun. It showed the confrontation. It showed the fatal shots. Once the public saw it, the silence could no longer continue. The case that had been buried for 74 days became impossible to ignore. 2 days later, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation took over the case. Within 24 hours, Gregory and Travis McMichael were arrested and charged with murder and aggravated assault. William Bryan was arrested 2 weeks later. Public outrage and widespread attention made the case a national story, highlighting how assumptions, fear, and racial bias could turn an ordinary jog into a fatal encounter. The trial opened in November 2021 in Brunswick, Georgia. Prosecutors relied heavily on Bryan's video, meticulously reconstructing the sequence of events. Neighbor Matthew Albens testified that he saw the McMichaels' truck following Ahmaud for over 5 minutes before hearing gunshots. Monica McLaughlin, who lived across the street, described seeing Travis McMichael approach Ahmaud with a firearm and testified to the fear she felt watching the pursuit unfold. Surveillance footage from the construction site was shown to the jury, revealing that white individuals had entered and exited the property without incident, undermining the defendants' claims that they were responding to criminal activity. The prosecution presented text messages from the McMichaels, showing they had coordinated the pursuit based on assumptions rather than evidence. One message referenced a suspected thief, despite no crime having been observed. Medical and ballistic experts testified that 3 shots were fired at close range, demonstrating lethal intent. The prosecution emphasized that Ahmaud was unarmed and running, and that the McMichaels escalated a situation that could have been avoided entirely. The defense painted a different picture. Travis McMichael testified that he feared for his father's life and believed he had no choice but to act. Character witnesses described the McMichaels as responsible and law-abiding. Portions of the video were played in slow motion to suggest that Ahmaud moved toward the defendants, a claim the prosecution rebutted with timing and positional analysis, showing Ahmaud was trying to escape armed men who had been chasing him for minutes. William Bryan testified about filming the incident. He admitted that he followed Ahmaud in his truck and helped box him in, even though he witnessed no crime. His testimony confirmed that the pursuit was deliberate and coordinated. The jury weighed every piece of evidence: the video, witness accounts, expert testimony, and the defendant's own words. After deliberation, all 3 men were found guilty of malice murder and felony murder. Gregory and Travis McMichael received life sentences without the possibility of parole. William Bryan also received life in prison for his role in the pursuit. The verdict acknowledged both the individual responsibility of the defendants and the broader failures of the system that had protected them for 74 days. Federal authorities then pursued hate crime charges, which introduced additional evidence of racial bias. Text messages with racial slurs were presented. Social media posts celebrating Confederate symbols and expressing hostility toward Black people were shown to the jury. The evidence painted a clear picture. This was not just a tragic misunderstanding. It was an attack influenced by racial prejudice. In February 2022, all 3 men were convicted of federal hate crimes and attempted kidnapping. The federal convictions reinforced the understanding that Ahmaud's death was not only a fatal encounter, but also a racially motivated killing. In response to the case, Georgia repealed its citizen's arrest statute, an outdated law dating back to the Civil War era that had allowed private citizens to pursue and detain individuals without proper evidence or training. The law that the McMichaels had cited to justify their actions no longer exists. The case sparked nationwide conversations about race, law, and public safety. It became a cautionary example of how assumptions and racial bias can escalate ordinary situations into fatal encounters. The phrase, "jogging while black," entered public discourse, describing the experience of being treated with suspicion simply because of the color of one's skin. Ahmaud Arbery's life, cut tragically short at 25, became a catalyst for change. His mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, continued to advocate for justice and awareness, speaking at rallies, testifying before lawmakers, and ensuring that her son's story would never be forgotten. The legal reforms, the federal convictions, and the public dialogue demonstrate the ongoing impact of one life and the extraordinary consequences of everyday decisions driven by prejudice. This story is a reminder that vigilance, empathy, and accountability are essential. It challenges society to confront bias, enforce the law fairly, and recognize the humanity of every individual. Ahmaud Arbery went out for a jog on a Sunday morning. He carried nothing but his intentions to exercise and enjoy the day. He was unarmed. He committed no crime. He posed no threat. But he was black, and he was running. And in the eyes of 3 white men, that was enough. His death reshaped the law, sparked national conversations, and forced a reckoning with how assumptions and bias can turn fatal. His name now stands alongside others who were killed simply for existing while black, a reminder that the fight for justice and equality continues. Ahmaud Arbery deserved to make it home that day. He deserved to live his life, chase his dreams, and grow old. This is his story. To explore more stories like this, where human choices, justice, and society collide, subscribe to StorySphere. Stay informed, stay aware, and never forget the lessons that lives, law, and history can teach us.